So أين وقفنا? Where did we stop? Here, right? So it looks like we did not finish this. Tadrib. No, we talked about lam. Nice. So what I'll do is, just to get started, I will ask you guys to do this one. And to give you a clue, this is one of the expression that we say. So I'm going to give you two. Don't worry about this one. This is it's not that important, but this one would be important. So what you can do, like, write number 2 and give me the letter arrangement, and write number 4 and give me letter arrangement. Okay, so like 2, B, C, D, no, whatever it is. So see if we can get them. Inshallah, I think they're both easy. Just to get you guys warmed up. Okay, so I have okay, so that's one. Anyone else wants to chime in? If there is a verb, the chances are, it's not always, but the most of the time you want to start with the verb. Okay, for both of them, this rule holds true. So it would be tusbihina. So this one first. Now I'm gonna write the way it should be. Tusbihina ala khayr ya ummi. Okay, tusbihina ala khayr ya ummi. So number 4, what do you think of number 4? This one is, I expect you to think a little bit because it has a little bit grammar stuff. Okay, so let's see. What do you have? One, يقرأ. Very nice. الطالب مجموعة. Excellent. من القصص. Excellent. I think this is 100% accurate. يقرأ الطالب مجموعة, because now this one becomes a object. من القصص. جيد. Excellent. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time because all of them, honestly, exact same sentence structure we had them in the textbook. Okay, so let's just do the last one. It looks a little bit big, and see what we can do. Now I told you that we have when we have a verb, we start with a verb, right? That's great, excellent. But we have two verbs. We have tushahidu and we have tajlisu. So what do we do? Here it's very easy. Why is it easy? Yes, there's a wow. So we cannot start with wow because wow should be somewhere in the middle. So why would we start with and all of a sudden, right? So our first aim would be to start with tajlisu. Okay, let's say we said tajlisu. So now what? What is the so we have the verb. Do we see any subject? Do we have the file, the subject of the verb? Anybody can spot the, let me just put A for you guys, A, B, C, D, E, and F. So do you see any, if not, sometimes it doesn't have it, but you have to tell me. Yes, okay, so which one is the subject of the verb? C, yes. C is the subject of the verb. So now we can say, what can we say? Now we can say, tajlisul usratu. Okay, so our subject is getting dhamma, so everything is good so far. So the family sits. Now what do you want to say? They sit where, what do they do? After that, you want to say A. Okay, fine. So you want to say the family sits and watches. What to shahidu? Okay, fine. I can put that. I'm not complaining. That just say we can do that. So tajlisul usratu wa tushahidu. Then what? Then they watch what? What do they do? Okay, let's see what you're saying. Tajlisu wa tushahidu al-usratu. Yes, everything else is fine, Brother Karim. Everything else is fine, except for we don't want to combine two verbs. We have to pre-introduce the, everything is fine, but we have to introduce the subject first before we introduce another verb. That's the only thing you're missing, because you're using two verbs side by side, but we have a subject, so we just want to insert the subject and get it over with. So we can say tajlisul usratu wa tushahidu, and then you said F, television. Yes, television, right? That's good. Then you said fil masa. Excellent. Okay, so this is one way of doing. Tajlisul usratu wa tushahidu at-television fil masa. Okay, another way would be saying that, you say the whole thing, the like tajlisul usratu fil masa'i wa tushahidu television. Both of them are fine, but as long as you understand these two concepts, that they should be together and these two should be together, then you have an option. Make sense, guys? See, these things are very good exercise. Honestly, guys, these are very good exercise because they and also easy. They gave you everything, right? So now you think about the grammars, you think about whether it makes sense. You ask all these questions, and just put them together. Okay, please do them. Okay, I'm skipping them because we have done them in class, but something you have to do yourself, inshallah. جيد. So التدريب الثامن, the eighth exercise, we have ضع كل كلمة في جملة. So put every word in a sentence. Okay, so this is something that I'm not going to do in the class, but I already mentioned to you last time that there are two ways you should do this thing. Do not skip them. These are very good exercise, but the way you should do is first, let me see, hold on a second. Okay, first what you want to do is find these words and find these words context in the book. How did the book use this word? Okay, so look at that sentence. The first, you should just copy that sentence, so that you understand the meaning of the word and how it's being used. For example, takhitu. First of all, you have to know what takhitu means. That's step number one. You have to know what it means. I'm pretty sure we have went through all of them. Khata yakhitu, what does it mean? Khata yakhitu, it's to sew or stitch. So if I remember correctly, it was takhitul the mother was stitching what? Athiyab. I think it was something like that, right? So you can go back to the text and then write down that thing. And then now you play around with this thing. Now you know how it had been used, you know what it means. So try to make something. Instead of you can say al-bint. Instead of saying that she's stitching the thiyab, you can say fustan. Who knows what's fustan? Thiyab is like clothing. What is fustan? Fustan is a dress. So do like this. Okay, it doesn't make sense for me to go through them here, but this is a very good exercise that you should do. And another thing I would really suggest, if you're making another one, for example, they give you takhitu. So that means they're kind of forcing you to use a feminine subject here, right? Makes sense because you have ta here as well. But for the second one, you can, the man is stitching something, it doesn't matter. So you can try to also play around with the with this kind of verb or subject object changes. Make sense, guys? The next we have التدريب التاسع, the ninth exercise. It says اقرأ واذكر نوع المد. Okay. So this is another thing we would probably be skipping. It has something to do with reading. It's very important, but I'm assuming you guys already know this. If you have studied how to read Quran, tajweed, this and that, you already know the mud. They're different. In fact, you guys probably know more mud than the Arabic language will teach you. Arabic language will only teach you like one type of mud, or meaning like one prolonged mud. But when you know that in tajweed, in the Quran recitation, we have many difference, like 1 beat, 2 beats, 3 beats, 4 beats, 5, 6, it goes up to 6, and we have different rules for those things. They only exist in the Quran. They never exist in the standard Arabic. Standard meaning just any Arabic itself. The Quran is very special from that regard, meaning it has a beautification because it's also it has this poetry element to it, right? But in terms of normal Arabic, there's only one type of mad, which is like one alif, right? And here, but how do we make it? We have 3 long vowels. So we already know about this thing, alif, waw, and ya, right? So basically they just wanted to know what mad is being used here. So this is a little bit tricky, but it is alif mad, right? So they're putting on here. So takhitu, what mad? It is the ya. Okay, so you don't say takhitu, then it's a mistake. Takhitu or majmu'atun, right? Majmu'a. So we have the waw. So inshallah, I think very easy for you guys. We'll just skip it. Next, we have التدريب العاشر, the 10th exercise. It says أكمل كما في المثال. Complete as in the example. المثال, the example. Okay, so I had a feeling that they will be giving you this kind of exercise, because the book, that's why I like this book, you know, when it introduces something, it not necessarily want you to know everything about this rule, it just prepare you for what's coming. So we've been seeing this concept of feminine, female second person, right? Because when we say, for example, let's just take this one. So we say tashrabu, tashrabu. So if I say anta, so now there's no confusion. You're not going to say that this is a she, third person. No, it's clear. I'm talking to you. Anta tashrabu. You drink. And then how do we say anti? This is what they will be teaching you. How do you say anti? Do you say tashrabu? No, you don't say tashrabu. We have already have seen some of them, like, you know, tusbihina. So when you say tusbihu ala khair, tusbihu ala khair ya abi. So when you say to father, you say tusbihu. But the last exercise we had, it was tusbihina. Why? Because you were referring to feminine. Okay? You understand? So this is the thing that they are teaching you here. So when you say anta tashrabu al-ma'a, you are drinking. Okay? You are drinking the water. So this is, we're referring to a masculine second person singular. But then you say anti tashrabina. So what is the difference? This is, guys, very simple, extremely simple. All you do is you have the taf'al, and you add ya and nun. Okay, ina. So what happens? This ya will force you to put a kasra here, right? Before. So for example, tashrabu and tashrabina. So only thing, this is the only thing, any word, any verb, any, by the way, which verb you start with? Huh? Because we have yashrabu, we have ashrabu, we have a nashrabu, we have a tashrabu. We always start with the singular second person masculine, which is the tashrabu or taf'alu or tadhabu. And then we just add a ya and nun. It kind of makes sense, right? Because the second person, you start with the second person singular, which is tashrabu, taf'alu. Now you want to just change the gender. Same thing as you have Muslim. This is the, you start with something, you start with the masculine, word. What is, how do you say Muslim? Well, you say Muslim. Now you just add what? You add tamarbuta to say it feminine, Muslima. And you know this already, there's something we have to change from Muslimun, we say Muslimatun. You get it? So same thing, you start with singular second person masculine, and then you just simply add ya and nun. And it's also important to know how you pronounce, like what is the spelling, ya and nun with the fatha. So we have ya'kulu. Okay, ya'kulu. So what do we do? What do we do here? What is the first step? Okay, think with me. We have ya'kulu. What is the first step? Exactly, we change the pronoun. Here is the he pronoun. It's not going to work. He pronoun is a third person. It's not going to work. So we have to first change the pronoun. Excellent. So how do we change the pronoun? Huh? What is the first thing? Instead of say ya'kulu, we say ta'kulu. Okay. Now we do our ya and nun. So we say ta'kulina. Ta'kulina. you have to pronounce these words many times with yourself. Ta'kulu, ta'kulina. Okay, so I'll do one more and then I'll ask you guys to do a few more. So yushahidu. So what we do first, we change the pronoun. So we say tushahidu, and then we just say tushahidina. You see, tushahidina. Make sense, guys? Yeah, we this one will read right? Tusbihu, tusbihina. So do this one. Yahduru. Even if you didn't know what it means, you should know what it means. But even if you didn't, how do you refer this verb to a feminine second person singular, meaning you're talking to a female person? Tahdurina, yes. Tahdurina. So we'll change the ya into ta, so it will be tahdu. So we say tahdurina. And make sure you don't change any other haraka from the before. Only thing you're allowed to change is this one, because you're being forced. It's the ya with the kasra, so you're being forced to put a kasra there. There's a difference between ahdara, yuhdiru. This is hadara, yahduru. Anybody know, remember what this word means? Hadara is to attend, present is good, excellent. And ahdara is, so can someone tell me what ahdara yuhdiru means? You guys have to know these two verbs side by side, otherwise you will get confused. I got confused when I was studying that. No. Hadara yahduru, and we have ahdara yuhdiru. Yuhdiru. You think it's easy? It's not. Huh? To bring. It's like ahdara is to bring. Okay, so this is a very common word, to bring. So you say ahdartu al-kitab, I brought the book. Okay, or if it's a hadartu fil makan or whatever, like I was present or I attended at this place. You understand? So you see, it's a big difference in terms of meaning, but they have some similarities. So that's that. So let's do a few more examples. Or yada'u. By the way, what is the past tense of these things? Who can tell me what is the past tense of yada'u? It's a little bit tricky, that's why I'm asking. These verbs, you can, if the more you are, I told you, any verb that this book is introducing so far, you can rest assured they are 100% important and they are used extensively, because in the level 1 book, usually most of the book, they don't even bring verbs, but if they're bringing it, they are extremely important. Okay, so make sure you are memorizing all these verbs. So yada'u, what is it? To put. So what is the past tense? Who remembers the past tense? This one is tricky because it is wada'a. You see the waw? Wada'a yada'u. So now, who can tell me, this is the only last one I'll ask, who can tell me how would we make it into you female putting? So you're talking to a female. Yes, excellent. Nothing fancy. Nothing that, see, even here, even though if it's, we only have 2 letters or 3 letters, nothing changes. It's the same thing. You still put the kasra on the ain and then add ya and noon. Tada'ina. Excellent. That's it. Okay, I'm pretty sure you will be able to get the other ones from the yaktubu. You will say taktubina. Then yajlisu, you say tajlisina. You understand? Honestly, I would expect you guys to do these things, the whole thing. Make sense, guys? Then we have at-tadrib al-hadi ashar, the 11th exercise. We have, okay, so I think we talked about this one before. Al-Qamariya, Al-Qamariya, and Al-Shamsiya. Okay, I think we have mentioned this thing. This is, again, it relates to the tajweed. If you studied Quran, then these things are a piece of cake. So we have some words that are called Qamariya and some words are Shamsiya. So it's basically only thing is talking about, do you pronounce the lam or you don't pronounce the lam. You just kind of have to know the letters. I'm not going to go explain, but here's they've given you a lot of example. So the one for the qamar, because think about it, you say al-qamar. You don't say ak-qamar. You pronounce the lam. You say al-qamar. That's why they say Al-Qamariya. That means for these letters, you will pronounce the lam. And for the other one, it says Ash-Shams. Okay, so you don't say Al-Shams, you say Ash-Shams. So you're not pronouncing the lam. So for those, we call Huruf al-Shamsiya. So just go through this thing, and there's nothing much to do. And I'm pretty sure all the words from what I see here, every single words that they're giving here, we have covered them in the books. So this would be a very interesting experiment on yourself to go through all of them while you're reading with the proper Qamariya and Shamsiya. And also when you read, do you get the meaning or not? When you say al-bayt, do you understand what it means? Jisim, do I know what it means? What does it mean? Who can tell me what jisim means? Body. Yes, jisim is body. So when you hear haris, what does it mean? Khafif. I'm pretty sure you guys are forgetting these words. I'm pretty sure you guys are forgetting a lot of these things. So I can't help you there. I told you I can explain things, but for the vocabs, this is something that you guys have to do it. Vira, I have a feeling you don't even know what that means. So spend some time and read them out loud and see whether or not you know them. Jayid. So in the Tadrib al-Thani Ashar, 11th, 12th exercise, they're giving you something about, very important actually, is verb conjugation. So they're trying to put all of these things that we have learned so far and then show you the verb conjugation. So this is one of the essential of the sarf, the morphology. The first layer of the sarf is that conjugations of the verb or the nouns, but the verb has more conjugations to think about, right? So let's see. So because why is it important? Because for every different subject, whether third person, singular, all of this subject, we have a different ways of conjugating the verb. Why? Because we mentioned that the verb includes the subject. Here they're starting with first person singular, ana, then they're going to second person. They don't even have third person here. So anyway, Jayid, no problem. So I will write the third person singular, which they have done here. Dahika, it is huwa. Okay, it is huwa, right? Dahika is huwa. So this one we have. Huwa is dahika. And the reason why a lot of books likes to start with huwa instead of ana, because the huwa always gives you the most simple basic form of the verb. Okay, so there's no any additional letter or even the haraka there in like a stable, like in an asal form. So that's why it is very, I think it's better to start with the huwa. Right? So for example, they give you huwa, but it's just that they did it some other way. So you can see dahika, there is nothing else. These all three letters are pure part of the root letter of the word. Dahaka. These are the root letters of the word. So dahika means we can assume that he laughed in the past tense, by the way, he laughed, right? So now the question would be, okay, so how do I say I laughed? So here's, this is what we're learning. So start with ana lil mudhakkar. Lil mudhakkar means for the masculine. So ana can be for feminine and it also can be for masculine. Here it's not going to change, but sometimes it will change, especially in the noun. So how do you say I am, Anna, I am laughing? So you say to. We have talked about this ta many times before. So this should not be a new thing. Okay, we have seen all the different permutation of ta. Because ta can take all these different haraka and absence of haraka, like ta, tu, ti, and sukun. And each of them gives you a different pronoun, right? So this should be, inshallah, very easy. So the tu is for first person singular, ana. And same goes for the mu'annath. So it doesn't matter if you're masculine or feminine, you will still use the same pronoun. Ana dahiktu, and you can say ana dahiktu. Then nahnu, so this is a plural. So again, first person. So how do we say we laughed? Okay, how do you say we laughed? And this is na. You add noon with alif. Very important. You say noon with alif because you will see why a noon. Okay, you don't have it. But if you don't have the noon with alif, it would mean something else. So we say nahnu dahikna. We laughed. And same thing goes for mu'annath. Okay, so you understand? So there's only two things you have to know. First person, ana and nahnu. Ana, for ana, you do ta with dhamma too. And for nahnu, we say nun and alif. So how do we say anta? Here comes a ta. You have to know your ta. What does all this permutation do? Tu makes it I, ta makes it for what? You, masculine. So anta dahikta. Anti dahikti. Should be very easy, right? These are all the tas that we learned. Like anta dhahabta, you went. Anti dhahabti, okay, you. And you can see there's a little bit of similarities here with the pronoun. Then we have antuma. What is antuma? Here's antuma is for mudhakkar, and I think both of them are same, so it's not, there's no difference. Antuma is you two. So antuma, it will be dahiktuma. You two laughed. And same thing goes for when you're talking about two female, you're addressing to female person. Antuma dahiktuma. Make sense? So here's we have tuma. Then we have antum. So this is second person plural. Dahiktum. Okay, dahiktum. Antum dahiktum. And antunna, this is what? Antum is the second person. All of them are masculine. Not all of them. This is a masculine, right? Antum is the second person. You're addressing all masculine or mixed. Okay, you're addressing a group more than three or more. They're all either masculine or there is a mix, masculine and feminine. Then you say antum dahiktum. You guys laughed. But antunna, here you are being restricted. When you say antunna, there's only one option. All three or more you're addressing, they're all feminine. You say dahiktunna. Antunna dahiktunna. So guys, this is, I can explain, but you have to do this thing. This is very extremely important. So unfortunately, I don't have too much time for today, but in the next class, inshallah, when we do, we'll start from here. We'll complete this chart and we will look how many exercises they're giving you. You will have plenty of time to do and plenty of opportunity to do this exercise and get used to it.